introduce to you all our expert for our new product AIFlow, Thilo Perk, and he will show you a bit what AIFlow is in a real test environment and what it's about. And I hand over to you, Thilo.
Okay, thank you for having me here. Yes, what is AIFlow? Well, basically, AIFlow is now a product which has a pilot phase which we developed for customers which may offer their customers an email address where they can send requests for services via email. And instead of working with these emails manually and answering manually and so on, the global idea behind AIFlow is that the system will use a little bit help with generative AI to create, or not only to create, but to validate the incoming email from the customer to find out what kind of service is requested. It will create automatically a responding email for the customer. And also it will create a suggestion order directly in Tego Suite. So the employee by itself doesn't have to worry about writing emails and creating the order inside the system. He just has to, or she has to validate only the results, which is coming from AIFlow.
Okay. And can you probably give us already like a live demo of the product itself on your computer?
Well, I prepared something.
Oh, that's great.
Okay, let me show you what I have over here. What we see over here is the email from the customer, where the customer by itself just requests a container for some redesigning work of their garden. It's just an example. And this email will be sent to the email address to the Kronos circular order. And so what we hopefully are going to see is that this email will go directly into the inbox of the Kronos Chronicle orders. And the system then will validate the email, and then two things could happen. In an ideal world, the system will be able to identify everything what is necessary and will proceed or process this email into an order. And the second thing what can happen is that the system is not able to define everything what is necessary, and then it will go into the review requested order, so the user has to validate it manually. So let's see what happens when I send this. It should go now into the inbox. And there it is. So now what happens in the background is all the magic happens in terms of AIFlow, where the system will validate the content and will to find out to extract all the necessary information: customer, task site, service, material, container, maybe whatsoever, to make a suggestion of the order, and will create a respond email to the customer. What we are using in the background is also a large language module. Mm-hmm. And I'm quite sure that everyone heard already about large language models in terms of ChatGPT or Google Bird and so on. But when you are working with such large language module, they have one thing in common, and they are very, very strong in processing natural languages. Mm-hmm. But also you have to be aware that these modules work only with trained data-based probabilities. And so in that way, you cannot really expect for sure a 100% correct answer. Mm-hmm. And this is also why we also strongly recommend doesn't matter which kind of solution you use with a large language module in the background, an expert has always to validate the output of such a solution. Just to validate, is that what the system generated correct, or do I have to make some to do some corrections by myself? In that manner, we also say that these kind of solution can also only support a communication channel, and cannot never be a substitute completely for such a channel. Basically that's it.
So you still need the human behind it, the expert and the human as an expert.
And that's what I mean. That's the expert should be always a human. And this is basically what you have to do when you work with any kind of such modules.
That's a very good point, for sure.
Okay, and what we see, the system is now ready, and when we take a look over here, the system was able to proceed this email. So what we see, it's just moved in the processed order folder, and we see still the email is over here. But also what we see is further up, this is my own customer mailbox, and when I take a look over here, we see that is the answer what the system created automatically. So it refers to all the content from the input of the customer's email, and you can also design it in that way that it contains also some more, let's say, company phrases, and so you can underline everything, your way how you would like to present yourself outside. And we can see that the system also said we are going to provide a 7-cubic container for this kind of project, and so on. So again, this should be also only a suggestion, and the user just has to validate if this is the email content he would like to send out to the customer, and just has to send it out. But what happens also in the system, let's take a look over here. The system creates an input, also again, like I said, a suggestion first, where the user can see all the allocated data. So we can see what kind of container type, how many containers, and what kind of material was defined, and so on. This is again also just a preview. We are still working on it, so it will show at the end some more information. Will be a little bit a nicer presentation to the end user. But again, it gives you already an idea what all the content will be available. And the only aspect is now that the employee has to decide, do I want to take this over as an order, or do I have to make some changes or whatsoever? There we go. The system now also created the order 79. Let's take a look to that one. There it is. And you can see that the system now allocated the existing customer. It picked the submission service of the 7-cubic container, and also it contains all the information for the material. Green waste will go as an input, and so on. And you will see also the information of the container that it will be submitted. And basically that's it. So the user is also now ready to send out this order to the dispatching process.
Okay. And probably one more thing. What is your personal view on how much time you will save in the end with this product? Do you have a personal view about it or an idea?
We did, of course, some estimations, and it really depends, of course, how much email inputs you as a company receive, of course.
Yeah.
But basically, we think just validating the data and if everything works well, will just take maybe, let's say, 10 seconds for each process just to validate. Of course, if you have to change something, it will take a little bit longer. But again, I think like if you can handle 80% of all your incoming emails, it will be a huge time saver. Right. And this is also the goal why we have this solution now available, because we think that these kind of functionalities will have a huge impact in the industry because of you can focus on the tasks where your employees are experts in instead of typing emails.
Yeah.
Well, at the end, I think it will be or can be a huge time saver. But again, it depends of how much emails you receive every day. Yeah, it's a little bit difficult to estimate up front. But we already also made some experience with the first customers. And we found out that if you are interested in such a solution, you should focus on a specific business case, on a specific business process. Some of our customers, they have like this email address info@, and they're
very specific,
exactly, where everything runs into. And that makes it also a little bit more difficult for the system to validate these kind of emails.
Yeah.
So it might be interesting if I just create for a specific service a specific email address. I know it's always a little bit tricky with customers, but to make a change, right? Just changing an email might be sometimes a bit difficult.
Yeah.
But again, if you're able to concentrate that on a specific process, I think it's more effective.
Yeah. Okay.
Another example would be that you can use the same idea, but not creating then automatically the orders in Tego Suite, but support your customer service by validating the type of email and then sending it to the right person who's in charge for that specific case.
And so the answer is like send it by the system to the right section or to the right area.
To the expert who's in charge for this specific part.
Yeah.
And
Very
that
helpful.
this is also a different aspect of AIFlow, but the principle is the same.
Okay.
And so this is also where we are still working on to find and evaluate in which kind of sections can we use this idea, to make the processes more effective for our customer.
Perfect. So you have us as experts for the software for the customer and the customer is expert of their field, but bringing all expertise together in the end to the product to help us both actually in the end.
It will be kind of difficult to have a generic product which handles everything. The task is that we have to take a close look to each processes from our customers and then decide where can we use this kind of technology to make their processes more effective.
Yeah. So you really need to know where the customer's pain is, and
and they know it for sure.
Yeah, of course. But that's then that's why are we there to help? Actually, or the product is there to help also.
Yeah, and that's exactly
perfect. Thank you very much, Thilo. That was very impressive and interesting.
Yeah, thank you. And if you have any more questions, you know who to ask.
Contact us.